In today's show, a career night from Scoot Henderson, absentee ball game from Deandre Ayton, and a late injury to Donovan Clingan. Oh yeah, and the Blazers lost to the Nets. There's a lot going on. Welcome to Locked On Blazers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Trailblazers, your daily Portland Trailblazers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What up, world? It's your past first point guard and Trailblazers reporter, Mike Richmond. You are listening to another episode of Locked On Blazers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get podcasts and also on YouTube. Thanks for making this show your first listen. Coming at you each and every weekday, Monday through Friday. So make it a part of your daily routine. Make it your first listen and tell your friends to do the same. As Locked On Blazers, your team every day. In today's show, we are talking about a action-packed game against the Nets. The Blazers lose 132-114 to the Brooklyn Nets on Tuesday evening. You are listening to Wednesday, January 15th show. I appreciate you. So much freaking happened in this game. We'll do our fastest recap in the West. We'll talk Scoot Henderson, who had a career night with 39 points. We'll talk Deandre Ayton, who was basically absentee in 25 minutes. Donovan Clingan gets hurt at the end of this game. Toumani Camara scores a career high, and tanking prevails. So much going on. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Blazers give up a 40 spot in the first quarter and trail 40-30 after two, but Scoot Henderson starts out 8 for 8. He makes his first 6 shots in the first quarter, and the Blazers are playing this game. Before we get deep into it, I should have given you the injury report. I apologize. No Rob Williams, who's out with an illness. No Denny Avia, who is out with, listed as questionable and eventually ruled out with an ankle sprain. But everyone else is available, and the Blazers start Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Toumani Camara, and Deandre Ayton in this game. I liked starting Scoot with the other guards. Why not? Why not? This is, you're playing against a team that has almost no size. You're at the point in the season when it's time to just do stuff like this. It is time to put Scoot Henderson on the floor and put him on the floor with these gentlemen. If you're not going to freaking trade Anthony Simons, which is a thing that very well could happen in February, coming up here in 3 weeks, if you're not going to trade him, you got to find a way to. If you're committed to this group, you gotta have to play the group together, even if it's an obvious mess and you're giving up a $130 to the Nets. But Blazers, Blazers playing shorthanded. The Nets somewhat shorthanded, but healthier than they have been. They get Cameron Johnson back. They get D'Angelo Russell back in this game. Old friend Keon Johnson's still there. No Nick Claxton in the middle, so they're playing like without a real center. Noah Clowney, who's like not a real center. But the Nets never trail. They wire-to-wire win. They're up 40-30 after one. Blazers shoot the lights out and make it a game because Scoot Henderson was making everything. More on him later. 66-61 at halftime. He's like, okay, both teams are scoring a cajillion points. Maybe the Blazers can come back. They don't. Nets lead by as many as 16 in the third quarter and go into the fourth up 98-88. And the Blazers never really threatened in the fourth. They just could never stop the Nets in any meaningful way. I'll say this: the Nets don't have a lot of good players, right? Like it's Zaire Williams and Cam Johnson, Noah Clowney, old friend Keon Johnson, Ben Simmons, Tyrese Martin. I don't know who that is. Jalen Wilson, D'Angelo Russell. This is not exactly like a super talented team, and yet they just play the right way. They play fast. They pass, move, cut. Like they clearly have a style and an ethos they want to play. They want to play with speed. They want to shoot threes, and they want to play quickly and have a lot of player movement, ball movement. Like Jordi Fernandez, first-year head coach, clearly has them playing with real focus. Blazers lose this game 132-114, wire-to-wire victory for the Nets, and they cruised in the fourth quarter with it. 34 points as the Blazers just couldn't do anything. That's your fastest recap in the West. This game is about Scoot Henderson. This game really is. We're going to start with the good stuff. There's some bad stuff that also happens, and we'll get to that. Scoot makes his first 8 shots in this game. Starts 8 for 8, had 25 points in the first half on 9 of 10 shooting. But and what you're going to know about this game is the threes. He makes 8 of 10 from 3. Absurd. An absurd shooting night from Scoot. His first basket of the game is a dunk. Nets score. The second, Blazers don't score in their opening possession. Nets score. Again, Blazers never led. And off a make, Scoot pushes and gets all the way to the rack and dunks. No rim protection. This has been a thing for Scoot. When he plays against teams without rim protectors, he does pretty well. This wasn't a game where he lived at the rim. Scoot's best skill on offense during his young career has been generating shots at the rim. Not making them, certainly, but generating shots at the rim. His ability to get himself to, within 4 feet and get shots up has been his best skill. He hasn't converted them or figured out how to sort of maybe get on balance and get his footwork right, so he's taking quality shots there, but he can get himself to the rim. And yet, Scoot Henderson came into this game 2 of 4 on dunks on the season. 2 of 4 on dunks. 2 of 4 on dunks. He's played in 31 games. This was his 32nd game. 2 of 4. Yuck. He dunks on the first possession. Then after Deandre Ayton drive, he dunks for his second bucket, a putback dunk, following an offensive rebound for an easy dunk. The first 2 baskets that Scoot scores in this game match his season production for dunks. He came into the game 2 of 4 on dunks. He's shooting 50% on dunk shots, y'all. And he dunks home, 1 in transition, just like push, get to the rim, finish. You love to see it. Then a follow hustle play. You love to see it. His first 2 buckets are 2s, and then he gets himself going. Gets a catch and shoot 3, takes one of those catch and shoot 3s at the top of the key. They swing it to him. There's no closeout from the nets. He's like, I'm shooting it. He's wide open. There's nobody within 8 feet of him when he catches it. Cash. Good shot. Take the right shot. He's got a quick 7. Then they swing it out to him again. He probably should have shot it right away, but not a hard closeout. Man down, man down rather. And he jab, pump fake. Okay, I'm going to shoot it. Swish. Another catch and shoot 3, this time from the corner. Then takes a pull-up 3 at the top of the key when they go under on a high pick and roll. Hits another catch and shoot 3 on the corner, and then takes a pull-up from the top of the key that hits the rim. Bang, 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 drops. Makes his first 8 shots, 25 points in the first half. His career high is 31, and he's already flirting with it. And then he ends the half with a hard floater, a challenging floater in the paint, like a legitimately hard, gets himself into the paint and gets up, gets a right hand floater off, kind of fading to his left and hits it. If Scoot could hit that consistently, he'd be a totally different player. That's a hard shot and a shot that if he could make often, that would be a really important part of his arsenal. I don't think Scoot's going to have another night where he makes 8 3-pointers this season. And if he does, I don't think he's going to have another night where he makes 8 of 10 3-pointers. The just make 80% of your 3-point attempts button is not exactly an easily replicated performance. This isn't one of those that you say, like, the other night when Scoot had a good night and got to the free throw line for 12 free throw attempts. It's like, yeah, maybe that's a thing Scoot could do every night. He could be a guy who shoots 6, 8, 12 free throws, right? Like he could be, use his athleticism and use, again, his ability to get to the cup, his best skill to draw fouls. And he could be someone who consistently takes and makes free throws, and that becomes the thing that's like special for him. That's like a skill that he has. That seems like a replicable skill, right? That seems like a thing you could do. This was not that. This was just fun. So I don't think you need to say like, oh, Scoot's figured it out. I think he bumped up his shooting percentage by like 4 points by hitting 8 threes from his 3-point percentage by like 4 points from like he was in, I believe, below 32 and now he's above 34. So that's 2.5 points. It's good math by me. Really good math. But like, so it's like all of a sudden he's like, Scoot Henderson actually is a slightly below average 3-point shooter. He was on a heater tonight. I don't think you need to go too far out over your skis and say like Scoot can definitely do this. If you're old enough to remember the last freaking game Scoot played and he wasn't very good, that there's some peaks and valleys with this thing. Here's what I'm encouraging you to do. Hold on to your joy, dear listener. Hold on to your joy, because haters are abound. haters are everywhere, right? And they're going to say some dumb stuff and you're going to have to roll your eyes. So what you should do is not say like, actually Scoot is a 39-6 dude, 39 points, 4 boards, 6 assists, 13 of 18 from the floor, 8 of 10 from 3, 5 of 8 from the free throw line. He probably should have had a 40 piece, but he missed his free throws. Like, if he goes 6 of 8, which is a more normal game and for him from the free throw line, it's like, yeah, there you go. There's just one more point. There's this 40 piece. 40 and 6 feels really special. A career night from Scoot Henderson. I'm not sure we see this again because of the way it happened, but I think If you are looking for joy in a dark Blazers season, this is absolutely one of them. Sure, they lost in a game they got smoked by the Nets, but Scoot was awesome. And he came out of the gates, got that start, and played with confidence right away. And of course, like, you make shots, it always feels better, right? But making catch and shoot corner threes, that's going to be a part of his game if he's, and taking off the dribble threes when he's, when the guys go under on pick and rolls. These are like shots you hope he makes in the future. He's obviously not going to make 8 out of 10. A normal good night for Scoot would be making, say, 4 out of 10, right? Like, if we're being realistic, that would be a normal good shooting night. He had a wild one, an outlier one, but you don't give it back. You don't need to apologize. When the haters come circling, just tell them, yeah, he might not do it again. I enjoyed it. That is the point of holding on to your joy. It is not to defend or project into the future or do anything else. It is to sit in a fun moment and enjoy it. And I'm telling you, you need to, because we got to talk about some bummer stuff in the second segment. Let's do that. There's some bummers on the other side, but bummers that we have to talk about. Deandre Ayton barely attended this game. According to the official NBA box score, he played 24 minutes and 18 seconds. I don't believe it. I don't believe he played any of those minutes. Hold on to your joy. Join me on the other side. That's what we'll do in the second segment. There's some bummers. There's an injury that we got to talk about too. But listen, the show is still fun. Join me there. First, though, let's talk about Hungryroot. It's the meal service, the meal delivery service that helps you get your goals and helps you save time along the way. So if you're trying to eat healthier, or you've got, a particular plan you're trying to chase down, you're trying to eat less gluten, you're trying to eat more protein, you're trying to have a vegetable heavy diet as we get into the new year, well, Hungryroot's going to help you, and they're going to help you save time, because grocery shopping and meal planning can be a real challenge for you. But if you get with the program and get Hungryroot, it's like having a personal shopper and a nutritionist all in one. They take care of your grocery shopping. They recommend meals and groceries based on your tastes and health goals. Like I said, whatever those health goals are, plus every meal is ready in 15 minutes or less. So you get quick, healthy meals that actually taste great, all delivered straight to your door. It's a huge time saver, and it makes healthy eating so much simpler. You're going to love Hungryroot, and for a limited time, you can get 40% off your first box and a free item in every box for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/lockedonnba and use code LOCKEDONNBA. That's hungryroot.com/lockedonnba, code LOCKEDONNBA to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/lockedonnba, code LOCKEDONNBA. Don't miss out. All right, you are holding on to your joy, you are protecting your peace, and you are enjoying the things that are fun, like Scoot Henderson hooping. I didn't mention him because this is a jam-packed episode, but Toumani Camara had a career night in the first half. Dude had 19 of his career-high 23 in the first half. His prior career had been 18. And what I liked about Toumani Camara is, like, he knows there's no Denny in this game. They're going to need offense. Like, there's no Jeremy Grant, who still didn't play in this game. He's missing, closing in. We're approaching maybe a 3-week absence for Jeremy Grant for getting with a face contusion. Chauncey Billups told reporters at practice on Jeremy Grant that he's ramping back up. This is a problem. This is a me problem more than anything else. For a variety of personal reasons, I have not been able to attend the last 2 games. I will be in the building on Thursday, and I'll ask about this. But, like, what's Jeremy Grant ramping back up with a jaw injury? Like, I just don't understand what that means. Obviously it sounds bad. Like, he has, like, neck, jaw soreness and all of those things, but he did not play in this game. Danny didn't play in this game. So Toumani knows he has to go get buckets, and he does. He's really aggressive early. He's, shooting without hesitation. He's attacking the rim. Took a career-high 21 shots to get his 23 points, and he really cooled off in the second half. But he was awesome in the first half. He was awesome. And the Blazers made 11 threes in the first half and 61 points. Like, the offense was not the problem in this game. The problem was that they gave up a $132 to the Nets, who play an enjoyable brand of basketball, but are not they're not a team maybe that should with relative ease drop $130 on you. But like they did. But I thought Toumani, who had a career night, I thought he, particularly in those opening 2 quarters, understood what they needed from him. This is a game where you need to score. All right, I got it. I'm gonna go do it, and that's like a growth thing for Toumani, right? Because he's not going to be asked to do that very often. But one of the challenges for being a role player is sometimes you have to scale up, right? Like some nights, Toumani specifically is going to shoot 7 times. We need you to make 3 of them, big dog. But like on nights like this where he took 21 shots, they needed him to up his offensive aggression. It was a high possessions game because the Nets play pretty fast. They needed him to be aggressive, and he was. I liked that from Toumani. A stinker from Anthony Simons, just a stinker. I will say in Ant's defense, when Scoot had it going, Scoot got to keep it going. This wasn't like a game where Ant was like, actually my turn. That wasn't it, but it was. But Ant just had a stinker. He finished with 32 and 11. But he's such a footnote here. A bad shooting night, and I thought maybe just like I don't think Anthony Simons played very well. Period. The headliner of this game is and we're holding on to your joy because we're getting into some negative stuff. Deandre Ayton didn't attend the game. He did not play. He did not play in this game. He just did not play with the requisite intensity and effort and force necessary to be a competitive part of an NBA game. Deandre Ayton did not attend. This has kind of been a knock on Deandre Ayton, that he doesn't always play with force. But this was a low point. This was a what are you doing type of game. He got benched in the second half of a game the Blazers lost to the Jazz because they came out of halftime and they gave up layup, dunk. And it was like, hey, man, if you're not going to play, you're going to sit. Like, if you're just not going to provide any resistance at the rim, you're going to sit. But I thought he did that right away in this game. Right away. Like, what did he do? His final line, he finishes with 1 of 4 with 8 rebounds, 2 points, a foul, and a turnover. No blocks, no steals, no assists. Didn't get to the free throw line. Didn't get any offensive boards. You look over at the box score tonight, you say like, okay, who's available for these dudes? Oh, they're starting Noah Clowney at center. He's like a stretchy young power forward with no other bigs other than Day'Ron Sharpe. They're going to play a bunch of small ball. Like, this is a game you should go into this game thinking you should feast. And Deandre Ayton went into this game disinterested in participating. This was a game where he appeared to not want to be there. Again, I wasn't in the arena, personal reasons. DNP Mike, I guess. That's my reason. But like and I'm not sure that Deandre Ayton would have been available to me in the locker room if I tried to go ask him about this, but like I wasn't there, so I'm not going to speak too much on like here's like I'm telling you what I saw watching the game. The dude didn't want to be there. Dude who never locked in, never played with any intensity. Just there was a play in the second half where he jogged back and all 9 guys beat him on the floor, and his man got a bucket at the rim. And when the defensive rebound came off the rim, that man, Noah Clowney, was shoulder to shoulder with DA, and he ran to the rim, and everyone else kept running, and Deandre Ayton jogged and gave up a bucket, a dunk layup, but gave up a bucket right at the cup. Just no interest. He facilitated a layup line in the first half. You know how you score a 40-piece in the first quarter on the road? Because the person charged with the, anchoring the back line of defense has checked out of the game. I don't know what you do. I mean, that's just that. You hope this is a thing that was, a bad night. These are NBA players are humans. A bad night, he's dealing with something we don't know personally. He's dealing with an illness. He missed the prior game with a calf injury, whatever it is, right? Like, I'm not going to make excuses for him, but you're just hoping that this was a one-off thing because there was a thing we don't know about. And when we see him again, when they play on Thursday, he plays with intensity and he, gives Ivica Zubats as much as Big Zoo can handle, right? Like, that's what you want to see, because Tuesday night was a mess. It was a mess. That's not the only bummer, unfortunately. Actually, let's do this on the other side. Let's take a quick break. Donovan Clingan got hurt. He got hurt at the end of the game. He hurt his ankle. It stinks. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. Join me in that third segment, won't ya? First, though, I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Wayfair. And as we head into the new year, we're 2 weeks into this bad boy, and you might try to be decluttering your space or refreshing your home and getting back into maybe a more peaceful routine as you start your year. Whether you're tidying up, clearing out, or you just want, like I said yesterday, a nice end table for your bedroom, Wayfair has everything you need, and it's all within your budget. They got a huge selection of furniture that makes it easy to find pieces that fit your style and budget. And they got free and hassle-free delivery, even for larger items. And Wayfair's site is so easy to navigate, you can find everything you need in no time. So whatever you might be looking for, you can find over there at Wayfair.com. Give your home a refresh it needs with Wayfair. Head to Wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Still a pass, first point guard. Still Mike Richmond, and you are still listening to Locked On Blazers. With about a minute 20 left in the game, Noah Clowney drove down the middle of the paint, went up for a layup, was contested by Donovan Clingan, and Clowney kind of fell as he shot it, and Clingan came down and appeared to maybe land either on Clowney's foot or trying to step around Clowney's foot and hurt himself. And right away, it looked like he re-injured that same knee that he had an MCL sprain in. And it was an injury that was very obvious because Donovan Clingan's reaction was someone who got hurt. He reacted like someone who got hurt. It's never good when you're watching an NBA game or in any sporting event and you see a player get mad. If they hurt themselves, get mad. That's bad. It's bad news. And Clingan got mad. Clingan's intense, though, so I don't want to read too much into it. He gets mad. It's one of his strengths, maybe, is the intensity, right? But after the game, Chauncey Billups told reporters it was an ankle injury. But Clingan stayed down on the court. He said the F word. He got up. If you're a child listening to this program with your adult, the F word is friendship. He said friendship extremely loud, and he immediately got up and limped under his own power, but limped back to the locker room. And there's like a tunnel that covers up the tunnel. There's like a hallway that leads back by the Blazers bench, but there's like a tunnel, so there's a little bit of player privacy. And he smacked the top of the tunnel. He was mad. He walked back and he was angry. This is the second time he had to leave the game. He hit his head or forehead on somebody's knee in the first half and had to leave the game and get stitches. Dude was taking a beating, right? Like rough and tumble, and it's probably, honest to goodness, that's why DA played so many minutes, is because Donovan Clingan had to leave the game a couple times. And when Jabari Walker came in, the Blazers really struggled in his minutes. So I think it's like, okay, we'll go back to the taller guy who's not giving any effort. Don't love it, but it is what it is sometimes. Maybe it would have been nice to give Duop Reith some minutes. For me, I think I would have had less. I would have had less patience for DA, but sometimes you kind of just like life is the way it works. I don't think we have an update on Clingan's injury as of yet. Chauncey Billups did not, and I have not seen, as I'm recording this after 11 p.m. on Tuesday evening. I have not seen an update on Clingan. I don't think we'll have one this evening, but maybe we will as soon as Wednesday. Certainly, the Blazers play again on Thursday. We'll have an update then on his availability, but that stinks. That stinks just because, not because Clingan was like killing it or whatever. Like he finished with 4 points and 14 boards in his 22 and a half minutes, but like because this is the part of the season where the Blazers should just let him go. How many minutes can you play? How many minutes can you play DC? 26. You're going to play 26 every night. Can you play 28? You can play 28 every night. It's time. You know what you're going to get with DeAndre Ayton, and some nights it's going to stink. It is time to commit to the plan. They're not going to do that. I'm certain that they will not switch it. So Clingan plays 28 minutes and DA plays 20. Quite frankly, I'm not sure that type of harsh punitive coaching would get anything out of DeAndre Ayton. I'm not sure that I don't think he would respond well to that type of approach. I think that would cause a further mess, quite frankly, which is, a problem in and of itself, that the Blazers roster has like weird log jams in front of recent lottery picks for one of the worst teams in the league. And that brings me to my final point here. This was a good loss. It was. This was a good loss. It was. The Blazers came into this game at 13-25. The Nets came into this game at 13-26. The Nets leave the arena with a 14th win, and the Blazers get another loss. That's good. For where the Blazers are headed, that's good. And that sucks. It sucks that the games that you watch this game play out, and you get to the end and you say, I'm glad the team lost. The incentives for the NBA, I'm not confused by them. I know what they are. The Blazers should probably have lost more games, quite frankly. And I think, anyone with like a pragmatic brain and like basic understanding of probability can easily agree they probably should have lost more games. But I find rooting for your favorite team to lose is nonsense, and it is a scourge on NBA fandom. So I am going to remind you of the solution offered on this program a couple years ago by Keith Parrish. Fast Break Breakfast, longtime Grizzlies blogger and podcaster, and just a very smart NBA brain, Keith Parrish has the perfect solution to tanking. It's what Keith calls lottery points, or a lottery point system. And it would mean that every time you play a team with a with a better record than you, and you beat a team with a better record than you receive one lottery point. Which means that the Blazers would be heavily incentivized to come in, and when they had a slightly better record than the Nets, heavily incentivized to beat the Brooklyn Nets, because the Brooklyn Nets would get a lottery point for winning against a team with a better win percentage, and the Nets would be heavily incentivized to try to beat the Blazers because they had a better win percentage and they'd get a lottery point. The Blazers preventing a team from getting that point, the Nets chasing that point, it would incentivize both teams to win. You say, hey, but couldn't there be some shenanigans? Certainly there could be, but for the most part, tanking only impacts something like 10 teams in the league at the most in any given season. There are incentives, thanks to the play-in tournaments and relatively flat lottery odds, that fewer teams are outright losing. But the Nets are outright losing. The Nets are outright losing. The Nets, they won too many damn games and started trading away their veterans. In fact, they moved off them quickly and maybe didn't hold out for the best possible return. Has there been some reporting that they wanted first-round picks? But then, you start 9-12 when you're the Brooklyn Nets and you're supposed to win 17 games. You say, oh, crap, we need to lose more. So they unloaded veterans. They've been holding guys out with bumps and bruises. Cam Johnson, you got to sit. You got to get fully healthy. D'Angelo Russell taking some nights off here. You got, who they acquired in one of their deals. You got to take some nights off and get fully healthy. They've been really conservative. The Nets won too many games. They play too good of a brand of basketball. They've got too effective of a coach that's helping them overachieve, and the front office is actively aiming for them to lose, which is the right move, and that sucks. And the Blazers, who are the anti-Nets, right? They have not made aggressive moves in order to get veterans off the team and prioritize youngsters and move forward in that direction. They're kind of just cold chilling. They are incentivized to lose these games. And when you come up short against the Nets, when you lose a wire-to-wire home game against one of the worst teams in the NBA, it's good. Your fans can say it's good, and that sucks. So give me lottery points. Certainly you could goose it early in the year. Some teams might, and some teams could try to maybe chase it in the middle, but the incentive is to beat teams that are better than you. If you beat a team with a better record than you, you get a lottery point. So every game throughout the season, and particularly down the stretch of the season, because talent is going to take care of itself. Most teams are trying to win. Talent's going to take care of itself. But teams would be incentivized to try to keep winning. The New Orleans Pelicans, whose season has gone completely haywire, and they just can't stay healthy, and and Zion's sort of a maturity mess. They would be incentivized to try to win basketball games down the stretch, because the losing wouldn't get you better lottery odds. Winning, beating teams that are better than you. And once you've had a real skid, once you are bad, you are incentivized to keep winning. This is the solution. The actual solution might be to abolish the draft, but I don't think they're going to abolish the draft. There are some solutions where you flatten where you draw for all the lottery balls, not just the top 4 picks, but all 14 teams that don't make the lottery. And I think there's some more radical solutions where you do that, and you have drawing for every single spot would allow you to flatten the odds more aggressively, to be sure. But as it currently stands, when you're just drawing a lottery for the top 4 spots, you have to incentivize winning, because watching this game, and I'm sure that you either are this person or you know this person who says this was actually a good loss. They're right. And that stinks. That stinks that they're right. Tell me why you actually love tanking or whatever, like LockedOnBlazersPod@gmail.com. You're wrong. It's okay that you're wrong. You can have a bad opinion. I'm fully comfortable with you having that bad opinion, but it's wrong. Rooting for teams to lose basketball games, thinking losing is good, and the NBA has trained you to not just think it, but to know it. It is factually correct that losing is better for the Blazers. From here on out for the remainder of the season, losing is better, which is one of the reasons they should just play the damn youngsters. It's just Keith's solution for points, for beating a lottery point, for beating a team with a better record than you is the best solution I've heard under the current climate. And no changes other than that. Bing, bang, boom. You're incentivized to win all season long. That's going to do it for today's program. Come back for tomorrow's show. We do it 5 days a week, wherever you get podcasts, and also on YouTube. Tell your friends about the program. I appreciate you listening. I'll talk to you soon.